So today, we're installing another security camera, this time from Reolink. Hey folks, welcome back to GeekSmart, and today we're doing another security camera install. I've done a few in the last couple weeks, but that said, this is a camera from Reolink. This is a PoE, or Power over Ethernet camera. This is the RLC-522. I've already broken the seal just to open it up, look, make sure everything came good, but I haven't really opened any of the bags yet. So let's bring it in and showcase what we got. Okay, so this is the box that came in. Behind here I actually have my memory card. With this camera you can either set it up with an NVR recorder, or if you don't have one of those, you can do a PoE injector or a PoE powered switch, and then just basically record onto a memory card. So I do have this. I'm going to try kind of out. Maybe we'll see what we do. But that's how we're going to set it up. We're going to set it up directly to the switch by itself, and then record on this guy. So in here we have our instructions. Looks like there's a so there's a template for how to actually drill for the mount. Oh, look at that! They even give you a 24-hour protected by Reolink sticker, and then of course instruction book. We do have a small Ethernet cable, so we have that. And then, so we do have the mounting screws. We do have basically a weather protected plug that's going to go on to here. So you're actually going to plug in the Ethernet cable into this guy. That's where that goes. And then the camera itself. So this guy. Okay, so there's a spot back here. That's where the micro SD card slot goes. Looks like you have to have a screwdriver to get into that. I guess that protects it a little bit. That's nice. Keeps that weather tight. Obviously, we're going to be mounting it under an eave, kind of like upside down like this. And so it does swivel. Okay, so the whole thing basically swivels in this. In order to put the memory card in, though, it looks like you have to have it all the way down. Then once you get the memory card in, we can actually adjust it accordingly. So, I don't want to take the... we always put it right back on. So the camera lens, pretty solid there. I think they say it has like 3 times zoom capability or something like that. We're going to find out what that means. Pretty simple. The housing, you can see how it actually moves inside there. The housing, there's nothing actually attached to this housing. The cable goes in and just goes directly into the camera, and then the housing just holds it. 3 thing there, so that'd be, yep, okay. So that's the plate that you're actually gonna mount, and then you just basically, once it's mounted on the roof, you bring that up underneath. So you're going to want to pay attention, or we're going to want to pay attention when we actually mount this thing, which direction is facing which way. I wonder if they have that on the actual item. It doesn't look like they do on the sticker, but maybe it does line up that way. Nah, not really. So we're gonna want to pay attention to that, to be honest about it. But that's fine. We'll figure that out when we're actually doing it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. How well the image comes out. But that is the unboxing of it. Now, I guess we're going to go outside and see about where we're going to mount it and maybe start mounting it. I already have the cables ran up into my attic. So from my network closet into my attic, I already have cables up there for cameras as I add them. So I'm not going to have that part in the video. This is going to be about installing the camera and installing the backside and actually seeing how to set it up with, well, the Reolink app in this case. I've decided to do this one a little bit different than usual. So it is a PoE camera, which means a lot of things, but what I've planned to do, what I've decided to do instead, I guess, is I have my PoE injector, which is going to inject power into it. So I have, this is the network line coming, this is just plugged into my network, into my switch. So I can plug that into the data side of my PoE injector, connect the power plus data side to my camera, and then plug in the injector, and we can do the setup inside. I'll still do the setup, I'll still actually show it being installed outside, but let's get this thing working and functioning properly before we actually head outside to do the actual install. So I'm going to bring in a little bit, I'm going to actually get an extension on this. This is a pretty short cord, but let me do that. So everything's ready on here, I just don't have it plugged in yet. I've decided that I'm also going to get the memory card installed prior to actually booting it up for the first time as well. Which I should get a smaller screwdriver almost for this. And I do have one that's a junky screwdriver that I hate, and my dog got a hold of, so why not? Is this the smallest bit I have? Maybe. I don't even know if it's actually any smaller than that one I have right there. I don't think it is, so I'm not going to even use that. Figure that out. So obviously it's a pretty small screwdriver, so you might want a little bit smaller than normal. This one just barely works on it. So take the little waterproof door off, and there we are. We're greeted with that. And of course, my fancy best dad ever tool out. There we go. That's how you know you got a good best dad ever tool, is when it actually cuts through this stuff, maybe. Oh, I love the packaging for memory cards. So we just have a 64 gig standard SanDisk Ultra Pro, or Ultra card, not a Pro card. And we'll insert that in there. And she clicked. And so now we'll put the door back on. Make it watertight again. Do-do-do. Okay. Time to power. Boom. Get some power going on there. I see the power light there. I'm going to go ahead and take the film off for now so we actually can see what's going on. So I have an orange light over here. See if this actually does anything. Now this is a new injector. I've never used this before. But you can hear the camera zoom function. So you can actually see the camera lens go back and then back out. So we know it's starting up. So now that we know it's starting up, let's get the app going and download the Reolink app, and we'll set that up right now. Alright, so I have the Reolink app downloaded. We're going to go ahead and start that thing up. Terms of service, I'm going to go ahead and agree to that. Look at that, uninitialized device. It actually found it right on my network, or found it because I guess I was next to it, which is interesting. Of course, it's going to be upside down because we have it sitting rather than being mounted like it's supposed to mount. You know, it's supposed to be like this, not like this. So, whoo, there goes my injector. Should be good still. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit uninitialized device. Create a login password. Enter a password of the device and then confirm. Let me do that real quick. So I've created my password. I hit return, hit next. Device settings, name your camera. I'm just going to call it Reolink because currently it's my only Reolink camera, and why not? We'll start with that. Format. Yes, please format the SD card. Yep. Hit the check mark. It's checked. Let's hit next. Formatting will erase. That's fine. It's a new card anyway. Save the device QR code to your smartphone. Absolutely. Okay, that's fine. So, see live view. Oh, hit play. So it definitely has a little bit of a lag to it, doesn't it? Or maybe it's rebooting because of the connection. That could be. We'll give it a second, I guess, maybe. Because it sounded like it just restarted on me. So I'm assuming that it saved the password and saved all the information on it, so we're just waiting for it to reconnect. So, let's give it a minute. And a few seconds later, there we are. We can actually see me. Let's actually turn it upside down. So we have a nice feed. And we should be about ready to do it PTZ wise. We can't move this side to side, but we can zoom it. And then it automatically refocuses. That's nice. We zoom back out. So that's widest zoom. And let's go tightest zoom. It'll be interesting to see the use of this when we're actually doing it on the street. So zoom back out. At least it does have autofocus, so it automatically focuses for you. So that's that part of the app, at least. Let's take a peek down in here. Let's log in here, so we can create. Let's hit sign up. Let's create a Reolink account real quick. So a verification email has been sent to my email account. I'm going to go ahead and go into my email and click the link that it probably automatically generated in there. So I clicked the link to verify my email. Operation successful. Now it's just going in. Now we can actually log in. This is actually on the account online. Let's head back over to the app. Oh, that's my email. And we'll log in here. Actually, it already had me logged in. So we're logged in, good to go. Whether or not we can see this from a distance, we're going to actually do that test now. Okay, so I just actually basically got off my Wi-Fi, and now I'm going directly off Verizon. If I click on this, play over cellular data, so yeah, there's my hand. So she's working even outside of my network. I can view this from anywhere, essentially. So now we're fully set up. We're good to go. We're logged in. We have a Reolink account. Now it's all about installing this bad boy. So we will go outside and see if we can install it. Alright, so let's go over the plan of attack. These are the cables that actually came with it. And so what I'm planning on doing is I'm actually going to route, or I should say this is going to be the stuff that's going to be kind of attic based, right? And so this is actually for the cable that's actually up above to seal onto this port here. This cord is going to be up and basically in my soffitting, or a little bit higher up to try to plug directly into it. So I'm probably not going to be using this, maybe on the other side, but I already have a patch cable for that. So this is going to be down below. This is going to be up in the attic. This is, well, since I'm not going into drywall, I'm not going to need these anchors. I'm not going into masonry or anything. So I actually grabbed some self-tapping screws to see if they're going to function properly. The base back here, which is this piece right here, as you can see right now, they have it linked so the cord comes off the back. I'm actually going to go right up through the middle. So all you do is just unhook that, and then your power cords and everything are going to go up through the center, which means they do have to go through this center piece here, right? Well, that's after we mount this. So this is going to look like that. And then in the end, all we're going to see on the outside is just the camera. Now, we don't have to worry about how this mounts on the building so much, because this actually turrets on this secondary piece too. So while this does just kind of lock into this, it does turret on that, and then we do also have movement of the ball head itself, right? So we're going to have plenty of movement once we actually get this piece mounted. So that's going to be the first primary item, is to get this mounted. Now, this is where the screws come in, right? So this is going to face out because that's actually what the camera looks into. So that's what she's essentially going to look like. And it looks like they give you plenty of space, and maybe that's what I should have checked. I'll just put this out of the way for a second. There we go. To make sure that once this is in place, where am I at? There we go. That the screws, you can see actually it is interfering with that. So that screw there is not going to work properly. I need something with a smaller head. I could just use the screws they give me, so I'll just drill out the metal and I'll probably just use these screws because obviously they're designed for it. So in the end, yep, my self-tapping idea, I'll just have to drill it out. That so be it. So we'll use these screws. We will need 4 of them, it looks like. So we're also going to, through the center hole where everything's going to go through, I'm going to cut out that for maybe for this to go through. Now, of course, this isn't going to go through here, so I'm going to have to actually cut this open and put it around the cables to kind of go up and through there as well. It's not preferred, I guess. I might not actually even do that because I think what I'll do is I'll just cut a hole in the aluminum that's bigger than this hole, so this is going to act as the grommet. I ran into this problem with my other one as well that I did, so I think this time I'm just going to cut a hole bigger than the grommet but smaller than the actual where my mounts are, so you know, it's a drill of this nature is probably going to be, that'll suffice just fine. So I'll start by drilling a hole for that pilot bit, and then I'll work on with this bit to get through the rest of the aluminum. So let's mount this first, or cut the hole. Actually, I'm going to mark this hole first, then we'll cut that, then we'll mount this, then we'll put the camera up there, and then I'll jump up in the attic and connect her. So it's kind of the corner of my house. And I wanted to see as much as possible of the kind of the street as well as the driveway and everything, all the way over to where my other camera is going to be located, or is located. And so I'm kind of thinking in this realm here, I could come out a little bit if I needed to, but give it as much protection as possible from rain, things like that. And then I can just kind of aim it out that way and get as much as possible. I don't want to go too far back here because then I have the downspout to worry about. So I think somewhere like right in here is going to be good. And then I can focus on these. And so now I have my 4 holes for that, and then my center hole. The center hole is going to be the big one, so I'm going to cut that through first, then worry about doing the smaller drill bit for the, I guess the mount holes. This is metal, so watch yourself so you don't cut yourself. Alright, so for these guys, I just have a 7/64, just under an 1/8 inch, just so it's, it looks like they're a little bit smaller screws, so. So this is aluminum softening, so it is going to have a little bit of wobble to it, but when nothing's going on, it shouldn't do anything, to be honest. Now it's about making sure we can actually get to the everything up from up above. So, with that said, let's grab the actual camera. Okay, so there's a couple different ways you can do this, and this is going to depend on your home. Because I'm in the soffit, and this wall, essentially where the roof is, comes down to pretty close to where the roof is. So getting your body in right down here, not so good. So rather than me shoving this stuff up in there and then trying to fish to it, I'm actually going to run a heavier wire. So this wire is a lot heavier gauge. I can actually kind of bridge it up there. I'm going to actually put a little nub at the front. And I'm going to try to push this wire up where I can basically tape on my wire that's already up in the attic for this, which is just a network wire that doesn't have any end on it yet. But I'm just going to try to feed this. It might take a little bit, or it might work right away. We'll see. You could use fish tape, you could use sticks, you could use, or like fish sticks. You could use a lot of different things. I might actually have to grab my fish sticks. I didn't want to really get those out if I didn't need to. But that seems like it's working. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually tie this to my gutter so I can't accidentally pull it too far. There we go. Now hopefully I can see that up in the attic. Tape on my cable, pull it down here, get this fully connected down below, and then do the rest from the basement. So here in the attic, you can see what I was talking about. It gets pretty close down there. You can kind of see the daylight down there. There's my green wire, first try. And there's my wire that I have just kind of staged up here. So I'm just going to tape them together and pull it down. Working in an attic is never the most fun. Make sure you wear a face covering. Well, as you can see from my shirt, my attic is hot. Let's hope everything pulls down just fine. There was a board up there that I went between when I fished this up. I'm gonna have to go back up. So I'm not gonna tape the second time, I'm just gonna go back up, but so be it. Okay. This time we shouldn't have a problem. I taped it on a little bit different in the old way of usually never gives in. So, of course I probably won't need it. Didn't even need it. So, I mean, you could just cut this off and untape it later, but if you want to see, so I take the wires and I put them on there and then tape everything together, and that sucker never gives in when you're going. It takes a lot to unpull that. So, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and terminate this real quick with an RJ45, and then get ready to prop it on. Actually, before you start putting the RJ45 on, that's what this kit right here is going to be for. We're going to take this and put it on this cable. Excuse me. So, there's the cap. We'll go on first. And then the rubber grommet. That rubber grommet actually goes on here, so I can just stick it on the threads. There we go. So that goes on this cable here. So you can actually start putting this together lightly at least. And then there's a actual big rubber grommet that goes on the cable itself. And so that'll actually hold this back so it doesn't get in your way. And then we can work on actually terminating this with an RJ45. Okay, so we got the RJ45 on. Now we can put everything together. Like I said, these two right here we're not going to use. We can just plug into that guy. And then we can slide this down. The rubber grommet you could actually move down if you need. This guy should twist onto this. It might be a little bit because you're also pushing that rubber grommet against the cable. And so you twist that into place. And then we can twist this end cap just basically loosely into place as well. And that should be our connection. That should be it. Now we can feed this up. And if you really want to get it really into it, you can go back up above and you could pull it back a little bit to get it off the softening if you felt you needed to. Aside from that, boom. We're still pointing in the direction that I had it before. So I have it, obviously you can move the turret, you can move the camera. We're going to leave it like it is. We're going to go down to my switch. We're going to plug it into the switch. Actually, I got to terminate down there real quick too. And then we'll get ready to fire it up. And she should automatically connect because we've already done the setup. Well, I think I'm still sweaty and dirty from my attic. But that said, I do have a terminator down here. So this is my other camera that's actually going to my NVR. This one's going to be plugged in directly to my PoE switch. So I'm, if you don't have a PoE switch, and I'm going to say most people that are in a house situation don't, you're going to use a power injector if you want to do the PoE route. which are cheap. And I'll put a link down below for the power injector that I use during setup. But that said, we're going directly into a PoE switch now. So I just have it directly plugged in. Should plug into the camera because that should be the line, and that should start blinking. There we go. We know we got power at least going to it, and we know we're getting the signal. Eventually that'll go from orange to green once it actually fully boots up and actually pulls an IP. Not that that matters to you, but we're going to let that do its thing, and then we're going to get the app open and wait for it to boot up. So let's, before we go outside, actually I'm out in my garage, but we're going to go ahead and open up the Reolink app to see how she came up. So everything should, boom, boom, there we go. Let's actually expand that sucker. Boy, I think maybe going up a little bit to get a little bit more of the, you can actually see how it's coming in. Get a little bit more of the street up there. So yeah, let's go over the main ladder, still over there. So the nice thing about doing this while you actually have a live feed in front of you, because everything's connected and good to go, is I can see everything that's going on as I move it. And so let's get that back to where it was and keep this on the ladder. Now I can actually see a little bit more of the softening, and I'll show you that here in a second. I might want to... That's pretty good. I'm getting basically everything from right about here, which is basically right on almost to the property line, all the way over to the garage over there. So I'm getting almost the entire front of the house now. That's awesome. That's what I've wanted. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. And so to show you what it looks like, you can kind of see me, right? And then you can see how much of that building I have. You can even see the soffit from the house right at the top of the feed. So when I do the full review, I'll actually have more to say, I guess, about how the quality of the video is, the app, the experience like that, but everything's set up. So that is the Reolink camera setup. If you have any questions, post those below. Of course, we have a truck going by. But yeah, if you have anything to add there, subscribe below, like, comment if you can, share the video if you can. Wouldn't mind that. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, catch you back here for a future video install. If you want to catch me direct, go to techgooch.com. You can actually get a hold of me directly through there. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you back here for a future video install. See you soon.